Alright, I'm here, and I'm earlier than I said I would be. So, you know, my bad in a way, I guess. But also, I just kind of didn't sleep last night, so got to the point where I was like, you know what, I may as well just get up, you know? So I got up, made a new playlist, and now I'm here, vibing. So what I want to do with this morning, I want to get more in around the edges, because they're a mess. Particularly in around here, really. So I'm thinking if I kind of focus in on half of this at a time, I may have an easier go of things. So I'm going to try and do sort of this bit to start with, and then leave that for a while, and then wiggle it over, do that bit as well. So yeah, it's going to be back to the whole small amounts with a fair whack of catalyst in there, is the plan. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Probably gonna do about the Hyundai again. I need to order more of this as well, because I'm going to need a lot of this for the whole thing. No, they really do child-proof these things. They also idiot-proof them, which is unhelpful for me. How on earth did I manage to cramp my hand opening a thing? I hate, I hate, hate these kinds of lids. I swear they're just actually me-proof. Come on, this is this is not this is not like 2 a.m. brain. This is actually a real. Okay, got it. This is a real problem. Probably tons. Hope that's tons. I wish I could get a top-down cam going, but I don't have anywhere to put it. I also don't have any cables that are long enough to allow for that. Maybe I'll get an extender or something. This top-down would be really helpful. I'll just rig something up, because I've got the ability to do that directly above my head if I'm smart about it. I can set something up. I'll just have to think about it for a bit. Stick it on my to-do list, I guess. At least then I can show you guys what I'm actually doing. If I've got a side view as well, then, you know, someone will get to see something at some point without my idiot head getting in the way. Do I want to put more catalyst in here? Potentially. Potentially. Yeah, I'll put a tiny bit more in. God, not again. Please. Please. Okay. Just the first go of it that was really shit. Oh yeah. I'm gonna try and get all of the silicon done this morning. Ideally, I should have done it all yesterday, so that I could fiberglass on top of it today. But time eludes me, so I did everything I could. Managed to get to bed bang on time, then proceeded to not sleep, so, you know, wound up being a slightly pointless endeavor, which sucks. But oh well, what you gonna do, really? At least this is now in a position that I can just paste stuff on here. That's pretty useful. And hopefully this will be enough to kind of deal with everything, to be honest. And it's stiff enough that it shouldn't all run away from me. At least not to an extent that I can't catch it, you know? Yeah, realistically, this will probably be enough. By the time it's done its thing. And the garage is still pretty warm. Which is why I have no sleeves. Because I have no jacket. Which I don't enjoy being the case when I'm handling chemicals, to be honest. I like to be covered. But also, I don't want to jinx it. I'm typically pretty careful. But I did just dunk my finger in that, so case in point. Yeah, this will probably be enough just to kind of sort the bits I was worried about. Which is annoying, because it means that that's all I had to do yesterday. But then none of this would have been set enough for me to just paste it on yesterday. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, I guess. Good enough. And then it's just back to what I was doing yesterday. I'm just kind of picking bits up and pasting it back on. So, yeah, I'm just going to vibe here for a while, I guess. Which seems fine. Vibing being the operative word, because got that new playlist vibe. So just feeling pretty funky fresh. All things considered, you know, lack of sleep ignored. It's fine. Whatever. Really, I'm not that phased. I've survived on considerably less sleep before. And like yesterday, I'd be more annoyed if I wasted my time asleep than if I just sucked it up and said, you know what, just gonna get up and do a thing. At least then it's done. Definitely gonna have to fix it in there, but that's fine. I wonder if I can faff with that a bit. I don't want it to collect in there, so maybe I'll leave it for now. Maybe I will leave it for now. Keep a close eye on things down here. I'm gonna have to move it. Let me just level that. Like that. Hope that stays where I want it. And then just monitor everything. That's how I started this, like, yeah, I'm gonna do one side at a time because that's sensible, and then promptly changed my mind. Now I get to be all shocked Pikachu about, like, oh no, I'm having to monitor two sides at once. What happened? Idiot. Whatever. Fine. Fine, it's slow enough, but I'm not bothered. Yeah, I'll just keep a very casual eye on all of this, I guess. I'm expecting to be able to just kind of move it around, to be fair. Kind of swish it from side to side every now and then. Leave it to cure a little bit longer, and then I'll start sort of rotating bits around. It's primarily up in here that I'm worried about. Really, because this side actually is not that bad. That side's pretty okay. This side is kind of sketch. So, what I think I'll do, I'll have to keep a very close eye on the other side, but I should probably change the title as well. Ooh, I can see you. Yep, over here somewhere. Right, do that. Then I want to have this, or like this. Just going to be interesting for the other side. So I'm going to keep a very strict eye on that. I need to move it further to here. Not one of those. Ugh. And then just monitor the other bit to oblivion. Because this is going to be annoying. Just fair because it's basically vertical. But this bit up here is going to be a problem. So try not to hit the cable for the webcam as I'm doing all this. That's the hardest bit, really. Facial awareness. That thing I don't have. I've also got to keep reminding myself not to start humming what I'm listening to because I worry about like copyright stuff because I'm so obscenely new to streaming. But it's also something that I do so subconsciously. Like I just sing along to stuff so much. I'm trying real hard not to do that right now. It ain't easy. Not with a new playlist. Not when it's a banger. On the plus side, I don't enjoy having to do only like a little bit extra, but I firmly believe it's worth the time. And it means that it's something that is then done properly. And I won't have to worry about anything tearing or whatever. So it's worth the hassle. It's just definitely a hassle. And it's one that I would have liked to have been able to dealt with yesterday. But woke up late, yada yada. So I'm here now. Deal with it now. Ain't no thing. Not really. Only problem is, I'm not going to be able to do the fiberglassing on it today. Not sensibly. So, yeah, that's bad. And I want it all in there. I can stay in there. That is all fine and makes sense. Just having to catch it, whack it back on top. Because again, the high points are the bits that matter the most. Realistically, I'm going over the flanges because I want to be super duper safe. But the main sculpt is definitely the focus. So just picking bits up and whacking them back on top again is the standard. It just takes a lot of monitoring, which I don't mind. Because I got the time this morning. It's not something that I could do on a day I have work. Well, unless I started at this sort of time, then it's like, yeah. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the fiberglass thing tomorrow morning before work. I don't know though. For the jacket, I can. I can have the time for that. As long as I get up early enough, I can have the time for that. Yeah, it should be alright. As long as I've prepped everything beforehand and I've got like the strips of mat like ready cut, etc. It should be fine. I'm vibing way too much to this playlist, I swear down. Ah, welcome back for the third time today. Yeah, yeah. Look, at least I'm seeing it through. Okay, as mental as my scheduling may be, at least I'm doing it. Just don't stay up too late on my account, because I'll be here when you wake up again. I am earlier than I said I would be, so I apologize for that. 2 a.m., 6:30 a.m., and now 7 p.m. Yo, that's boy, that's horrifying. Jeez. Okay, well if it's only 7 p.m. for you, that's fine. That's fine. I can allow that. I don't have to feel bad about that. That's okay. It's when people are like, "Oh, it's you know, 11 p.m. for me," and I'm like, should you be here right now?" In fairness, I only tend to sleep like sort of 5 hours anyway, so there was bound to be a pretty sizable crossover as far as time zones and what have you. I love it. Uh, it's great. It is funny. I'm hoping it winds up giving me some kind of advantage as far as streaming, because I can't imagine there are many people with the same sleep schedules. So who knows? Maybe it'll end up working in my favor. We'll see. Hope you had a decent work day, and I hope you're having a chill evening. It was alright. Nothing too interesting happened. Honestly, I'm a big believer in no news is good news. So I'd take that as a win. At least where I work, that's the case. Okay, this is getting to a pretty decent point. Okay. This is definitely looking a lot more solid now. I was worried the most about this, but these edges were already real thick, so they're fine. But it's just in under here was not it. Wax more on there. I do too. If something interesting were to happen, it would not be good. Most likely would be news about someone almost dying depressurizing a mold. Jeez. Yeah, screw that. Screw that. A whole bunch. Where I'm at, the worst that can happen is realistically chemical exposure. Although, having said that, I did have a cylinder blow up around myself and a mate, and we ended up having to go have a decontamination shower and get our eyes irrigated. That was horrendous. Jeez. Like, I have a very high pain threshold, but getting my eyes irrigated was like, the whole time I was just sat there like, next time I'll go blind. I actually choose blindness. It was so bad. And my mate that I was with is terrified of hospitals. So I'm trying to keep my cool this whole time. But yeah, I'll go first, it's fine, it'll be okay. I don't know how much you know about getting your eyes irrigated, but they have like these little suction cup things that they stick up under your eyelids and then like run sailing through. Oh my god, it's so painful. And we had to have this like under our eyes for like 45 minutes. Horrendous. So I decided I was going to go first to try and keep my mate calm. Like, yeah, it's cool. You know, I know myself, I'm a coper. So I'll just suck it up. He'll be fine. Because I'll just make it look like it's easy. I couldn't fake it. Like, I genuinely couldn't pretend that it was okay. It was that bad. So I'm literally there with my eyes closed. Like, gritting my teeth. Literally being waterboarded. Because your eyes, nose, throat is all connected. So I'm drowning. I'm in pain. And I've got my mate next to me going through the same thing, saying that he's about to pass out. And I'm like, don't you dare. Because I can't see you. Keep your shit together right now, I swear to God. I mean, it's funny to look back on, but at the time, no. So many leagues of not okay. So that's kind of the worst that I've ever dealt with where I work. But that was the first time I'd ever had any major incident because I'm obscenely careful. And realistically, I only ended up having to go through it because I had a tiny bit of stuff get through past my safety glasses. Whereas my mate got hit full in the face, like it knocked the glasses off his face. It was rough. Though I did get some pretty good memes come out of the whole experience. Because for the decontamination shower, we had to strip down like naked before we went in. And because he got hit with the most of it, I said like, you have to go first. You are the priority right now. Good grief. So this nurse comes through in full like hazmat gear and says that we have to strip off. And he just looks at me, looks back at her and goes, "What? Here?" She's like, "Yes." Now? So I said to my mate, "Don't worry. I'll turn around and face the corner." He was not happy with me. I said, "I promise I won't look. It's fine." But so like we went through the shower. I didn't look because I'm a good egg, and I made a promise and I kept to it. He, on the other hand, so once we had the shower, they had like this screen set up, and like a three panels joined with hinges that you're meant to like towel off behind once you get out of the shower, etc. My mate's already been done, and he's sat down past the screen. I get out, handed like a disposable towel to dry myself off with by this nurse, then a gown, stick it on. Sorry, my mother decided to call. Did I miss anything? Where did you get up to? Because there's actually quite a lot this time. What's the last thing you heard? Because I'm more than happy to repeat it because it is a funny story. The finish of my last message. Oh, so you literally sent that and then like you were gone? Because if so, you've missed the entire story. The one time I have something to contribute. Basically everything. Okay. Okay. Right. So let me start again then. So I was saying about like the worst thing that I'd had happen where I work. And for me, that was it's like a filtration cylinder. So I was with a mate of mine changing out this filtration cylinder and it just blew up. It blew up in his face, and I was in the vicinity, so I also ended up covered in stuff. And we had to go get like a decontamination shower at A&E and get our eyes irrigated because it was full of like grit and resin, and it was horrendous. So I don't know how much you know about getting your eyes irrigated, but I have a very high pain tolerance, and I couldn't deal with it. So the mate I was with is also terrified of hospitals, and I'd said like it's fine, I'll go first, I'll get it done first, and they put like these little suction cups up under your eyelids and then flush your eyes with saline for like 45 minutes. On the face of it, I was like, yeah, just like contact lenses. I've done that for cosplay. It's fine. Everything will be fine. It was not fine. It was so many leagues of not fine. Because these suction cups are way thicker than contact lenses. And your eyes are constantly trying to get them out. And you're trying to like keep them in. But also, because your eyes and your nose and your throat are all connected, you're being waterboarded the whole time. So I'm just there, can't see anything, can't breathe, concentrating on trying to be okay so that my mate doesn't freak out. And then he's next to me, like, Jonah, I'm gonna pass out. It's like, don't you dare, because I can't see you, so I can't catch you, so don't don't do this to me right now. At the time, I'd said to myself, you know what, next time I'm just gonna go blind. I actually choose blindness over this because it hurts so much. But in the end, it was funny. It was funny to look back on, but particularly the decontamination shower. So when we got to A&E, me and my mate were basically guided into this bunker, which was hilarious right off the bat. It's like a bunker through like a metal door, and then they had like a big old sliding door in front of us. And this nurse comes in like full hazmat gear and says like, right, you have to strip off in here, come through the shower, wash literally everything with the soap that we give you, and then come through, dry off, blah blah blah. So my mate looks at me and he looks at this nurse and is like, strip naked. He goes, yes. He looks at me again and is like, what? Now? So I said to him, don't worry, man. I'll close my eyes and face the corner. he was he was so mad with me. So I do have a picture of me with his clothes. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. It is hilarious. I'll definitely have it somewhere. Yeah. I wonder if I can show it to the camera effectively. But there you go. That's me with all his stuff. And this was us after the fact. Pretty great. But yeah. So that was really funny, in fairness. Um but after the shower, they have like this screen that we're meant to get changed behind. And it's like three panels that like fold. So there are hinges in between and so I come out of the shower, sit behind the screen, handed like a disposable towel and everything. Like, yeah, just dry yourself off, blah blah blah, cool, fine, whatever. And I I realised that I can partway through I realised that I can see my mate through the gaps in the screen. So I put on this hospital gown, go sit next to him, and he turns to me and is like, Jonah. But yeah, you know those gaps in that screen? Like, you bastard. How much did you see? He said everything. so, so little bit of context, right? I am a trans man. So I turned to my mate and I said, "Wouldn't it be funny if this was how you found out?" He wet himself. Just imagine. It's like, I think you left something behind in the shower. uh, so yeah, that's the most chaotic story I have from where I work. But it was very, very funny. So at the time, markedly less so. But the shower was definitely funny. So, yeah, this actually is in a pretty good condition. I could probably leave this. The look on his face, sadly, can only imagine. Yeah, oh, it was beautiful. The whole scenario. I mean, realistically, it was kind of horrifying, but the memes we got out of it and the fact that neither of us are like permanently damaged, realistically, it was a it was a net plus. So I'm cool with how it turned out, all things considered. So I'm gonna leave this as it is and see if I can work on something else. Because this is gonna need to be left to do its thing for quite a while. I also need to see where I can leave it sensibly. Probably over here. Hmm. Let's think. Let me move some stuff around. Clear some room. If I can leave that out the way safely and sensibly, then I can work on some other stuff, which would be epic and cool. Uh, yeah, I can leave that there. Okay. Then I've got a space cleared. So, let me shift this out the way. Then I can kind of, sort of look at having a bit of a clear up, which would be nice. I feel like everything's been in disarray for a while. Okay. That seems like it's going to stay where it is. So that is a plus. Just see if I can make sure. Yeah. Then I'll just keep a fairly casual eye on everything. Dip in and out, etc. Whack this back in its little plastic bag for now. Keep everything neat and tidy. Because it matters to me. I'm going to need to order more of this for sure. That's fine. Right. In the meantime, let me see if I can organize some of the chaos that's going on here. Right. This is still a mess. Whatevs. Um, what can I do? I think I said to myself I was going to work on this, which would be fine. Yeah. Let me just give that one of these. Yeah, I have this half mask that I was going to mess with. I kind of need to have it sat on my face for a while. And if I'm in a respirator, then that's kind of not going to be a thing. Maybe I don't do that yet. What does that leave me with? Not a whole lot. Unless I started working on another project I had in mind. Oh, jeez. I should probably tidy some stuff up before I start that, though. But also, it's going to get messy again when I start fiberglassing stuff, so maybe I do leave this here for now. Maybe if I just organize some of my tools so I have at least half an idea of what I'm doing with my life. Pack all the pens in there and get rid of this. Tidying up is not something I tend to do until I've reached like a logical stopping point for certain bits. Okay, all of this still looks fine for now. Might swivel it ever so slightly, and then come back and stare at it some more in a minute. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit disjointed today, to be honest. Why have I got an eyelet punch here? Oh, that's fine. I kind of want to have everything I'm currently using in its own pot. So I remember what I actually used for everything. I didn't use you. Or any of you. So maybe I just whack everything in here for now. Deal with it later. All of this I did use. So in the tiny screwdriver. Right, now I know all of that is useful. Ah, yes, the tiny little wire thing. That is important. I suppose technically I used that as well, so why not? Try and clean everything up a little bit. It's all in a bit of a mess. I also need to try and address having a top-down cam. I can think of several ways of managing that, but all of them require longer cables than I have to have. So that's going to be a pain. Is this secured? It is. Excellent. That is not, though. Less excellent. This? Some of it. This to a point. All of this is much easier to clean up once it's cured, so at the minute it's still not 100% there. Mostly there, but not completely. At least I can clean up some of this. Oops. Try not to knock the webcam over in the process. Right. That's all then in a better state than it was. Which I'm taking as a net plus. But I'm just going to have to wait for a lot of stuff. I was going to chat while I got food at Subway, but before I could finish ordering, my father texted wanting food. Pop here with my parents today, apparently. Yo, nice. Yeah, don't mind me. You crack on. I'm just here rambling anyways, so I'm fine. And all I'm really doing at the minute is tidying stuff up anyway. Well, ish. Tidying up ish. I suppose I suppose I could start looking at prepping some of the fiberglassing stuff. That is an option. I'm gonna have to go get more water soon as well. That's something I need to keep in mind. Let's see. So these are the ones I didn't use, so really I can get rid of these. As long as I've got pictures of everything, I can get rid of them. Hmm. Do I need to? I don't know. I don't like getting rid of things. Oh, forgot there was a bloody great hole in this. Okay. This tray is a bit of a mess from the last time I did all this. Maybe I'd be smart to get something new. I don't know. To what extent does it matter if I use an old tray that I've been fiberglassing in before? Is it going to affect anything? Because it's, kind of a mess. So I don't mind, like, chopping up some of the strand mat and leaving it in here, but also I'm kind of like reluctant to use it for anything beyond as a storage container. It is just kind of a mess. I don't know, maybe I can clean it with something. This really isn't my area. Not really. Like, I've done this stuff before, but that by no means dictates that I am any kind of proficient or vaguely knowledgeable. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to just sort of try and pick bits off, I guess. I don't want to just chuck things away because I've worked with way worse stuff as far as like the conditions of things. Right, just managed to get a hole in one of my gloves, so perhaps it would be sensible of me to not pick at things with my fingers. I can use this. That's fine. I can probably just, yeah, I can just chip away most of this and then bin it, I guess. I just don't know to what extent it's even going to matter. That's all. I don't know. Maybe I chip stuff away and then vacuum it out. I don't know. I mean, it comes off pretty easily, actually. This is salvageable. It's fine. This is fine. I can just spend a while cleaning this, I guess. And then I'll just prep a load of the strand mat. I've not used this in a very long time. The last time I did use this, it was for my big mold. So, actually, it could have been in worse condition, really. I'm surprised it isn't worse, to be honest. Let's see. What kind of sacrificial brushes have I got back here that I can use? This looks pretty sacrificial. Yeah, works. There's not going to be a whole lot to observe for a while, if I'm honest. So just kick back and chill for a bit, I suppose. I can just get the worst of this off. And I don't think it's going to be an issue. Not really. Particularly not considering this is just going to be what goes on the outside. So whatever random crud gets caught in there is pretty inconsequential, to be honest. Just have to remember not to get lost in the sauce again. Hard not to vibe right now, I'll be honest. Got deep purple in my ears. Wanted to jam, but nope. Don't want to sing along. Just in case. But I'm bopping. I'm vibing. I just wish that, like, copyright wasn't such a big thing when it came to music, because I'd love to share all my music with people. And I love having music shared with me. Like, music is one of those things. I was talking to a workmate the other day, and she was saying like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't really notice when it comes to like music and stuff. I'm not really interested. Like I, she's great. I love her, but that is unforgivable for me. Like I don't understand. But like I'm not like one of those gatekeepy sort of music enjoyers. I'm extremely passionate about music, but not to like a sort of weird hipstery extent. I just care a lot, and it's one of those things that like I can't exist without. Like the whole time I've been doing all the streaming stuff, I've had my headphones on. I've been playing music. Like I need it. I need it to function. And if I'm having a particularly bad time at work and I gotta duck out, headphones go on, give myself 20 minutes, regain the will to exist. You know? Okay, this is coming off enough. Again, I didn't want to just bin stuff for the sake of it. If it's salvageable. I just appreciate it's not the most enthralling thing. If I can just get it to be better than it was, then I'll be happy, really. Checking to see whether I've cut through the gloves by accident. No, I don't think I have. If I had the handheld vacuum out here, I'd use that to get the worst of this. But I have a scuffed brush and a plastic bag to dump stuff in. So, going the old fashioned way, I suppose. So, yeah, it's fine. I don't mind having a little bit of downtime while I wait for stuff. If I can have everything prepped and ready to roll, then tomorrow morning I get up, I roll. I should be able to get everything done that I need to. If I prepped everything, then fine, easy. Easy peasy squeezy lemons. Hope you're enjoying your Subway. I hope your parents enjoy it too. I actually usually eat something before I start streaming, but I just woke up, wasn't hungry, so I thought, sod it. Just crack straight on, I guess. So I'll eventually go eat something, but probably not until my nan gets up around sort of 3-ish. What's the time now? Oh, it's like 3-ish. Well, not yet. Not yet. I'm still not hungry yet. Probably wait till like 4. Probably. Maybe longer. Depending on how much I can feasibly get done. It's mostly just going to be tidying stuff up for a bit. Which is fine. I don't mind that. I'm going to eventually get the vacuum cleaner on this for sure. It's just going to be a pain. I'm going to go indoors, sneak about to grab it, not to wake anyone up. There is a vacuum cleaner out here, but it's loud. And it requires a plug socket, so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I just bite the bullet and do that. I keep forgetting what day of the week it is. Just because my work schedule is so disjointed. But it's Friday today. Probably check in on a workmate of mine, see how they're doing. They've not been feeling too hot the last couple of days. And I know they were at work yesterday, so honestly sometimes I do, I say sometimes, most of the time, I do wonder if I'm a bad friend. I just forget stuff. I forget to ask people about things. Like, it just doesn't occur to me. It's like, if you got problems, then talk to me. Don't expect me to come to you, because it will not occur to me. I feel like a lot of it's probably just my terrible memory, to be honest. But then there are things that I just like, I don't ever think about, really. And that sort of thing just doesn't occur to me. And I wouldn't ever expect it from anyone else, which I suppose doesn't help me to remember. This playlist is too good. Every time a new song comes on, I lose my train of thought because I'm just busy. Like, oh hell yeah! Okay, this is a lot better than it was. Let me see how much chaos would it cause trying to use this. Probably fine. It's just going to be a little bit loud, probably. Definitely. It's definitely going to be a bit loud. So maybe I mute everything whilst I'm using it. Maybe that's the sensible thing to do here. It's not even like there's a low setting on this, it's only high. So it's going to be exclusively loud. Right, let me mute this for a second. I'm pretty sure it's going to come through. Okay. I mean, it worked. But it was definitely loud. For 3 in the morning, it was definitely loud. So I'm going to have to do that in birth. But it's not too bad up here. I'm not exactly precious about this getting scratched to oblivion. Again, there was a change of song. I got distracted and I forgot where it was. Fine. Fine. Back in the room. I mean, realistically, there's not a lot I can say at the minute anyway. I'm just trying to clean as much crud off of this as I possibly can. And then I'll start chopping up some mat so that I've got stuff that I can just grab tomorrow morning and roll with. point, I should probably check and see how this looks. Oh, it seems alright. Just as well. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't have realised. Jeez. Just have to go check on the silicone. And it's completely fine. It's not moved. But also, if it had, I wouldn't have known. So, smooth. Mick Jagger has such a distinct voice. Because you know how sometimes there are things that get confused in your head? You have no real reason for them to get confused, but they do. So for me, for some reason, I always mix up the Rolling Stones and the Who. I have no idea why. So I have to kind of sit back and be like, okay, so who am I listening to right now? Who's singing? If I can identify Mick Jagger, then I know it's Stones. I don't know why I get them confused. I just do. It's like I always get confused between March and May. There's no reason. Like, okay, they both start with M. So, June and July both start with J. I don't get them confused. And they're next to each other. So, no. But then, I'm not as bad as my nan. But she's bad to an extent that's funny. So, I just get confused. It's not particularly amusing. But she's one of those people that like knows the gist of a song and ends up kind of improvising the lyrics. Genuinely hilarious, especially when it's like stuff that she introduced me to. Like we'll be sat listening to one of their Deep Purple vinyls, and she'll be getting most of the lyrics wrong. But Deep Purple's one of her faves. Like, it's just, I guess it's just something that runs in the family. But it's definitely funny when she does it. Okay, this is a banger of a song, but also it's kind of sad. There we go, that's better. More stones, incidentally. Nothing but bangers this morning. The way it should be. better than it was. A little bit of crud up here still. Really do wish there was some way I could share what I was listening to without it being a problem. Because it just is such a good time. It's why I love things that are like open source and things that people put out into the world just for the sake of sharing. Love stuff like that. Awesome. Because it just brings people together around the same sorts of interests. Why wouldn't you want that? You know, you get to share and stuff that you love with other people, and then, hey, who knows? Maybe they'll end up liking it too. I don't know. I enjoy the prospect of spreading happiness, sharing in the hype, you know? And music's one of those things, like, it's not as niche as cosplay or whatever. So it should be widely easier to find unity over, in theory. I don't know what this brush has been used for before, but it's barely a brush anymore. So I don't feel bad about it getting wrecked particularly. Definitely a mess. Okay, I really don't care about the edges, to be honest. That's not going to affect anything. As long as most of the base of it is in an okay condition, then fine. I think it'll be fine. And then I'm just gonna, you know, quickly vacuum this out again and hope that it's not enough to wake up the neighbors. I don't know, sometimes I get a little bit spiteful. And I'm like, look, I'm here trying to get to sleep at 6:30 in the evening, and all I can hear is people in the back gardens shouting and mucking around and blah blah blah. So why can't I run a Dremel at 3 in the morning? I'm working. This isn't this isn't just blasting music and partying. Like I'm being practical. I feel like I can justify this. But also this isn't my house and I don't want my grandparents to suffer for my hubris. So I'm just gonna mute this real quick while I use the vacuum cleaner. Okay. I choose to believe this is fine. At the very least, it's fine enough. So if I just chop a bunch of map, see what I've already got. Pretty sure I've got a few bits and pieces already lying about. Yeah, I do. Whatever is in this bag. Okay, so really, actually, as far as here's some I made earlier, quite a lot, which is nice. I don't like the super straight edge stuff though. Okay, there are some really long bits as well. Guess I can do that. Just seeing what I've already got in here from my last project. That's going to be probably too big for my purposes. So I will just not do that. Just a smaller bit, I can get away with that. That's a bigger bit. Didn't realize how many pre-torn bits I actually had lying around. That is crazy helpful. I shouldn't even need that much, to be honest. It may only be 8:20 p.m., but it's time to crash. Night. Yo, more than fair. Have a good one. And I'll probably be here when you wake up anyway. And probably will end up doing more then as well. So, yeah, it's a win-win. So sleep well, and I'll probably catch you in a bit, to be honest. You do you. That should be enough. Assessing what I've got over here. Yeah, that should be tons, right? Yeah, I reckon. And even if it isn't, I've got all of this down in here that I can use, so I think that'll be fine. Ooh, there's a box here. I wonder if this is a box of resin or a box of silicone. Might as well find out, since I've got all of this set up now. Hold up, I couldn't put my phone down just yet, because there's that chopped fiberglass. Yes, yes it is. But I won't be doing anything with it until, later. That's just a bunch that I had left over from the last project I did. I've got a bunch more down here under my desk. Yeah, this is definitely a bunch of laminating resin. Nice. Okay, I'd rather be here to help you if you have questions. Certified in using. Oh, yes. Okay, that's crazy helpful. Yeah. No, I will not be doing anything with that until later on today, if I'm lucky. Depending on the state of the silicone by then. So, yeah. Technically, I shouldn't do anything with it until tomorrow. But we'll see how I end up feeling, really. Put a bunch of my recyclables in the box. Oh, there's a screwdriver in here. That was lucky. Alright. That is now my recycling box, I suppose. Okay. Glad to know you won't be using that material till later. Time to sleep for a bit. Yeah, go nuts. Go nuts. I've used it before, but I won't pretend to be any kind of vaguely qualified in what I'm doing. What else can I organize while I'm down here? I mean, I'm not going to be using this anymore. But I hate getting rid of stuff. But I don't think I will. I'm smart, I can put it in my bag of phone scraps. That seems justifiable. I think I need to accept that I'm not going to use this. Or am I going to use this? Just use the time to have a bit of a tidy up, I suppose. That seems like the sensible thing. Don't know what that's from. Hmm. Phone scraps, tinfoil, all useful for. There'll be brushes that I've used before for this, and just try and organize everything a little bit. It's all in disarray. They're not going to be useful enough. Get rid of those. On matte wax. Okay. Let's see. I've also got a box of stuff over here. Got a couple of paddle rollers. Nice. Get rid of that. Then I think I'm going to open this other parcel. I just haven't opened this whole time. It's probably going to be pretty heavy. I'm pretty sure this will be a bunch of resins and stuff. Definitely need to order more silicone. God, what is this tape made of? Okay. Getting through it. There we go. recyclable packing stuff. You'll love to see it. I know I do. Into the recycling bucket I got here. Ooh, this would have been useful. This would have been hella useful. Oh, I should open this way sooner. I got a bunch of these. Nice. Yeah, a bunch of little different sized pebbles. Epic. How very useful. I look like a little bit of glue or something on the end of them. That's whatever. I can wipe that off. Epic. Okay. Very handy indeed. For goodness sake, why has my bot done that again? Now, it was... Why can I not fix that? Can I do that through here? Let me see. Hmm. Let's see if I can try and fix this real quick. I might not be able to. It won't let me undelete it from my phone. Find out why. It's really irritating. I can't select anything from the stream manager on my phone. Not remotely annoying. Let me see. Um, okay, let me try this real quick. Let me try and do it through here. Um, and then uh, mm, mm, mm. Oh, that's not annoying at all. Let me do the thing, damn it. Telling me the user doesn't exist. That's a lie. The user definitely exists. Try this. I don't know why it's telling me the user doesn't exist. I tried. I tried to undo the timeout, but it's lying to me. So I can't really do anything about that at the minute, and I can only apologize. What have I got in here? Jeez, what don't I have? What a whole... Ooh, those are the pigments. Yo, okay, that's exciting. Good grief, I got a lot of stuff in here. There's plaster. It's fine. Just became untimed out. We'll resend message. Brain won't stop thinking. Yeah, hey, you go nuts. Go for it. I'll just be here. Feel free to spam me with as much info as you like. Cut bristles on a brush you don't care about and use for stippling. Yeah. I've got a bunch of these that I've used before and cut down before, which you can kind of tell on some of them. So, epic. Cut very short. Okay. This is going to be exciting. Good grief. Oof. Can't wait to use that. I may as well get rid of this. It's too helpful. Use squeegee to press tight into corners. Okay. I've got little, like, paddles and stuff that I can mush things with. But I've also got a bunch of tools, like silicon molding tools. So, okay, I can use bits and pieces. I'm very excited to use these. These are going to be the pigments that I hopefully will end up using for the sword when I make it. They're like pearlescent. So that's going to be exciting. Hubtop fibers in place when stippling around curves. Okay. What else have I got in this box? More plaster. That's more fast pass. That's air bubbles. Yeah, I was uh I was advised by the husband of a friend to use like paddle rollers when it comes to like air bubbles and stuff. So I have a couple of those. I haven't used them before, but he said that like vertical lines means it won't splash and like churn stuff up. So I'm hoping those also help. Acetone. Oh, that's helpful. Awesome. If using acetone, don't use vinyl gloves. Eats through them. Oh, fair. Latex or nitrile. Okay. Good to know. Those all work so well. That person gave excellent advice. Good. I'm glad. Because I was talking to a work friend, and she said that her husband had been building hot rods for longer than I'd been alive. So if I wanted any pointers to go to him, and he just gave me the most comprehensive list of stuff ever. It was awesome. So yeah, very very cool of him. And leave the acetone up there because my nan will probably use it for her paint stuff anyway. What is this? Where did I put the scissors? Oh, they're over here. Okay. Okay. Silicon looks good over there. So I don't know. I might be cheeky and try and get this done today. I'll have to give it a few hours, yeah, but I'm still tempted to be cheeky with it. What is this? I need to test a bunch of this in fairness. What are you? Gel coat. Ah, okay. That's what I'm gonna need to use when I eventually come to cast the real thing. So that's pretty handy. It's fun learning how fast Final Gloves melt in acetone. Ooh, jeez. Turn to jelly. Great. Not remotely ominous. Fortunately, I'm one of those people. Gloves or no gloves, I'm extremely careful with stuff. So I've never had the experience of having any of my gloves melt because I've never given it the chance. And if I can use tools for things, I'll always use tools over using my hands. But very good to know. What in there? Weird term, but what you're doing with the fiberglass is known as a wet layup. Okay. Also, wasn't wearing the gloves. Stuff them into cups filled with acetone. Ah. Okay, yeah, that is a way better means of finding that out for sure. Inclined to leave the plaster as it is. Uh, bugs, go away. It's dark and there are lights in here. But hang on. Okay, what if this is in its own bag so I can get rid of the bubble wrap? This is just fast pass. And this is the other part of the fast pass. Oddly enough, during that class I found out I'm allergic to both nitrile and latex gloves. Oh god. Right. Well, that sucks. As far as I'm aware, I don't think I'm like properly allergic to anything. Like, I've had the occasional skin reaction to stuff, but nothing like mega. Where did I put the scissors that I had literally a second ago? Why am I like this? They're down here. Why did I think that was going to be a good idea? Why did I think I'd remember that? I'm me. Of course I'm not going to remember that. Ah, this is a big thing of laminating resin. Cool. Thinking. Can I get this in there? Maybe. Maybe I can. Turns out I can only wear neoprene. Huh. Another type of single-use rubber. Interesting. I know I used rubber like washing up gloves when I was dealing with the fiberglass thing originally, and they worked out fine. And then I ended up wearing them when I was like flush casting this mold because the edges were really sharp. Like I'd sanded them down, but they were still, this thing was heavy. So I was just like wearing these rubber gloves so that I was rotating this thing and not like cutting up my hands. But I wound up having to like wrap duct tape around the gloves as well because this thing was really cutting up my hands. So yeah, not the smartest move on my part. Also, pretty on brand. So can't say an awful lot on it. Not really. Okay, that fits in there fine. That then fits in there with it just fine. And if I can get the matte wax in here too. Oh, I can. Excellent. That is a real nice, neat looking box. Good for me. Raisin's piece of advice, but if you get a splinter and can't remove it with tweezers, use calipers. Oh, random, not raisins. Okay. Fair enough. Wouldn't have ever considered that. That's my little multi tray. Couple of paddle rollers. Epic. And then a bunch of sacrificial brushes, which I suppose I could really chop down now. Yeah, why not? I got a bin bag over here anyways. I feel like I wonder. It works so well. I've done it so many times. Jeez. Wow. Fair play. Okay, I've got an idea. It might work, it might not. Let's see. Splinter galore. Yeah, I suppose it's just one of those workplace hazards, right? I know for me this is very much a hobby. So it's like I suppose it's the probability thing, you know? Like the more you do stuff, the more likely you are to end up contending with these kinds of injuries. That did not work. I was hoping it would, but it didn't. Oh well. I'll just go back to hacking at this, I guess. Um, it kind of worked to a point, and it just stopped working, which is fine, I guess. Don't think it helps that these scissors are pretty blunt. Thumbs, not chores, autocorrect. Is it bad that I don't really notice when I get a splinter anymore until it brushes up against something? Ugh. Eesh. Screwed out on so many levels. I think it's as you say, it just comes with the territory. But then as I say, I'm fortunate in that I've always historically been very kind of neat and tidy. So stuff like that doesn't really happen. Like I can paint an entire wall and not get any paint anywhere. My nan will go to paint a door frame and it's on her face, on her hands, on her clothes, on the floor. So I don't know where I get it from. It's certainly not her. I get most things from her, but that I do not. Although I will apologize up front and say that because you work with this stuff, you'll probably end up being pained by what I do with it. So, it's like I can't watch playthroughs of my favorite games because I can't handle people walking past stuff. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have you cringe out your skin. So be prepped for that. The more I look at this silicon setup, the more I'm thinking I can probably get away with doing some of this today. Particularly because like everything that's underneath will definitely be fine. I was mainly adding that top layer to fill out the flanges, so that's okay. I'm used to it since I was in a class that also was an at your own pace thing, so newbies were always there. Ah, okay. As I say, I've done it before, just you know, unguided and winging it. It worked though. I'll have to go and get the old scales that I used for this though. A plastic bag wrapped around them. I learned that one the hard way. I'd seen other people had done it before, and I thought, nah, nah, nah. I'm neat and tidy. I don't need this. I might be neat and tidy. I can't control what resin does. So, yeah. There's now a plastic bag over these scales, so it'll be fine. I'm pretty sure they're still in my bedroom. I had a bunch of parcels I was shipping at one stage, and it's like, I need to know how heavy these are. I know, my little drug dealer scales. So that worked out. Okay. Oh, I've hacked away at this brush. It is a mess, but oh well. I can't imagine it matters a whole bunch. Surprisingly difficult to cut moving fibers in a straight line. I'll always respect hairdressers because everyone assumes it's easy. It's not. It's so not. Okay. Well, this could be worse. So, feel that cutting brushes is so hard. Yeah. This is this is the best I've managed to do. So, you know, it could be a lot worse, but not not good. So at least I have something. That should be okay. Yeah. Perfect length. Ah, good. Because I was very much just winging it. So I'm glad. Let me try and get a smaller one to a similar length. Try and do this one. The similar sort of spec. But accepting that it's going to be a shit show. Okay, this one actually went slightly better. Might still be a bit long though. No. See what you think. Is that still too long compared to that one? Because it is slightly longer, but not by like a whole bunch. So I don't know whether that matters or not. If you think I'll get away with it, then great. It's good? Excellent. Because I think if I try and make it any shorter, it's going to end up a mess. So, yeah. I think those two... I'll do this one as well. Screw it. And I'll save these ones. Because these ones are quite nice. So I'd rather not decimate them if I can help it. Let me try and do this last one. And I've been going 2.5 hours. So I should probably go and get breakfast soon. Let me just try and take off a bunch from here first. Okay. Alright, this one's a bit of a mess. Might be able to fix it. I'm just not holding out a lot of hope. It was good at one point, and then I was like, no, 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 I can do shorter than that. And now I'm looking at it like, like it's probably still fine, but it's not particularly neat. Now I'm being fussy with it for no reason. It's a sacrificial brush, so who cares? But nah, I have to care. Of course I do. Okay. That seems pretty decent. Certainly not a bad attempt. Yeah, it's not the worst. I think I can live with that. Did you know the reason you cut the brushes is because the stiff impact bristles will penetrate the fibers, releasing small trapped air bubbles? Ah, okay. I did not know that. I assumed it was just, you know, the control aspect, you know, the precision, I suppose. But I have another one. It, the uh, the webcam is very forgiving. In person, these are an absolute mess. But I have them now, so net plus. I can then have those as my weapons of choice when I actually come to deal with this later. So that's a plus. Also creates small punctures to allow the resin to seep further into the fibers. Oh, well, the more you know. I suppose this is the advantage of, you know, actually being trained to work with this stuff rather than winging it. So that's handy. I guess that's another advantage to streaming that I hadn't considered, was that, hey, people know stuff. You don't just have to make it up as you go along anymore. Not necessarily. I'll still be making up most of it, but there'll be aspects that I don't have to make up. And that's pretty neat. Can I put these somewhere else? Probably. Yeah, if I can. I'm gonna put this in here. I just still want to have these up here somewhere. And I'm probably going to end up using the smaller paddle roller eventually. We'll see. I suppose it depends on the surface area. Because it's not a whole lot, in fairness. Trying to find places for everything. In fairness, this is a pretty neat box of stuff now. I'll roll with that. I'll roll with a pretty neat box. Also a fairly heavy box. But as long as it's only me that's lifting it, I'm not worried. Can't think of a reason for my grandparents to try and move it. So it should be fine. I forgot I had a hole in this glove. Smooth. Oh well. Right. Can I tidy anything else up while I'm here? Potentially. Let me check what's going on with the silicon situation. like it's going anywhere. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Well, I'll see. I'll see. I'll do some Googling and see how little time I can get away with leaving before I do all of this. As I say, like the underneath layers are gonna be totally fine. Only the very top bits, so whatever, really. Um, where can I put anything? Where can I put anything? Do I need to keep these? I have pictures of them, so probably not. Maybe I'll keep the thicker ones, and I can end up making some mold keys out of them. Yeah, so I didn't keep these. I got pictures of them. It's whatever. What kind of mold keys am I going to be able to make out of this, though? Probably none. All things considered. Because at least these are vaguely thick, so I can kind of justify these. How long do you think the silicon will take to cure? Well, that's the thing. Is that recommended is always 24 hours, but I give it a cheeky Google. Just see. That's sealant. No. Don't care about sealant. Again, I don't care about sealant. There we go. Let's go to Reddit. Platinum cure, that's the one. Okay. Oh, I might be able to get away with it later on today then. Let me see if I look up the actual site. Yeah. I check here and go silicon. There we go. That's the stuff I use. Condensation cure. Yes, indeedy. Oh, okay. 6 to 8 hours at 25 degrees. Alright. And in fairness, let's see, what time did I do that? Well, realistically, if I say I did it 2 hours ago, really. Although I did kind of get straight into it, so maybe I could probably call it 2.5. So, what? If I say a minimum 6 hours before I start faffing with it. So, 6, 5, 4, so 3.5 from now, 4, 5, 6, 7. So by about 8 a.m., I should be able to deal with all of this. if I wanted to be super safe, I'd call it 9. Maybe micro molecules. Yeah, so maybe if I call it like 8:30, 9 a.m. where I am. But basically, like, oh, 3.5 hours. Well, 8 a.m. should be fine. 8 a.m. should be fine. Basically, sort of 3-ish hours, I guess. Well, okay. Yeah, 2.5. So 6, 5, 4, and then 3.5 hours from now. Yeah. So basically 8 a.m. Whatever that translates to where you are. Then if you've still got to sleep, then you're kind of gonna want to do that first. So realistically, I'm able to wait to do it slightly later on. But the longer I leave it, the more the sun will be up to annoy me. So, I suppose it depends how bad you want to be involved in the whole thing. I definitely don't recommend staying awake for the next 3.5 hours just to be around for anything. Like, I can't condone that. About 1 a.m. for me, fine for me. Uh, mm, I don't. Are you sure about that? I don't exactly recommend it. 'Cause I can call it 8 a.m. where I am, and by that point it should be fine. Well, obviously I'm gonna sleep till then, not gonna stay up till then. Yeah, no, don't, don't do that. That's not good. I've got to go and get breakfast anyway, so really, kind of checks out. I'm cool with that as a game plan. I have to go retrieve my scales as well. I know for a fact that they're upstairs in my bedroom, but I'm still gonna need them. So. Okay. I got a bunch of scraps that I can use for mold keys at some point, which is nice. Just where I decide to put them, that's all. Right here. Okay. Well, having kind of sort of tidied up at this point, I'm inclined to say I'll put a pin in it for now, and then come back around the 8 a.m. mark to then contend with this. Just double check I definitely have all the stuff for this, because I ought to, but just so I know, it'll be that, and this sucker. Yeah. Four. Okay. Then a bunch of cups, but I can get those out whenever. So, yeah, cool. Uh, Interesting. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So for now, I'm gonna call it quits, and then I'll come back to deal with this in a few hours. Eat something good. I'll figure something out. I'm considering having cake for breakfast, to be honest. If I did that in a cereal bar, I can pretend that I'm doing the right thing. It's a weekend. Well, for me, it's a weekend, so it's fine. Yummy. Yeah, that it is. So yeah, exciting stuff. I guess I'll catch you in a few hours. Go, go nap hard, hard and fast, and yeah, I'll catch you in a bit to mess around with some of this, which is hella exciting. So yeah, see you in a bit.